Today is the 23rd of January 2026. Yesterday I spoke about concentration, its characteristic, its non-dispersal, non-scatteredness characteristic, its function and its manifestation. I also talked about the three types of elimination: momentary elimination and elimination for longer periods. The third type I have not yet discussed. At the end, I explained that Vipassana practitioner develop momentary concentration which dispels defilements moment by moment. Therefore, the more one develops consecutive momentary concentration, the longer and farther the defilements are kept at bay. In this way, by eliminating defilements moment by moment, their strength gradually decreases. The strength of defilements gradually decreases. They become weaker, thinner and less deeply rooted. Defilements have accumulated in the mind over countless past lives because they have filled up over such a long period of time. The layer of defilements in our mind have become extremely thick, just as when a glass surface is left uncleaned, dust and dirt slowly accumulate and grow thicker day by day. Defilements similarly gather in the mind when they are not regularly cleansed by mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. However, just as regular cleaning gradually they restores the clarity of the glass, continuous practice of mindfulness and momentary concentration gradually purifies the mind. And each moment of clear, penetrative awareness removes a small layer of defilements, and over time the layer becomes thinner, the mind becomes lighter and clearer. As defilements are dispelled moment by moment, the mind becomes cleaner and purer. As the defilements that conceal and obscure the mind are eliminated, the vision of the mind becomes increasingly clear. When you look into the water, if the water is dirty, unclean, wavering, muddy, then you cannot see your face. You cannot see your face, or you cannot see into the water. You cannot see the things existing in the water. As the water becomes clean and pure, you can see your face and you can see the things existing in the water as well. In this way, as the defilements are dispelled, the vision becomes clear. Meditators come to see things as they truly are. Seeing things as they truly are is called the arising of knowledge or wisdom. In this way, when concentration eliminates defilements moment by moment, object by object, and gains momentum and gives rise to wisdom. It is also because concentration is the proximate cause, the nearest cause of wisdom. When concentration gains momentum and deepen by coming stronger, it allows wisdom to arise. There is a Pali statement, samahito yatha bhutang pajanati. I repeat, samahito yatha bhutang pajanati, which means the concentrated mind comprehends reality as it truly is. When the mind is well collected and free from defilements, that is, when defilements are suppressed or eliminated, it becomes sharp, stable and clear, allowing wisdom to arise. And when insight unfolds, the insight itself is a second manifestation of samadhi. Previously, I mentioned the first manifestation of samadhi, that is calmness. Now, I talk about the second manifestation, that is the wisdom. This means that when a meditator begins to see and comprehend true things as they truly are, they come to understand, oh, this is because of the presence of concentration. Now let us discuss about the wisdom knowledge. Wisdom has the characteristic of illumination. It sheds light on what was previously hidden or obscured by ignorance. Just as a man entering a dark house brings in a lamp, once the lamp is placed, it dispels the darkness, produces light, illuminates the surrounding, and makes visible all the things that were unseen in the darkness. In exactly the same way, when wisdom arises in the mind, it dispels the darkness of ignorance. It brings forth the light of true knowledge, illuminates the reality of things as they truly are, and reveals the Four Noble Truths, which are otherwise hidden to ordinary deluded mind. So just as the lamp or the light reveals things Wisdom reveals the Dhamma realities, such as impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. It enables the mind to see clearly, not with the eyes of body, but with the eyes of insight. The another important characteristic of wisdom is penetrative realization of things. Not just realization, but penetrative realization of things as they truly are. Wisdom does not merely skim the surface, it penetrates deeply into the true nature of reality. It sees, it comprehends beyond appearance, beyond thinking, beyond assumption, and beyond conceptual thinking. It directly perceives the fundamental characteristics of existence, that is anicca, dukkha, anatta, the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selfless. When this kind of insight arises, the meditators begin to see clearly and directly. For example, imagine you are looking at a line of ants from a distance. At first glance, it may appear to be just a static line, a solid object, or even non-living thing. But as you step a little closer, you begin to notice some movement, although you are still unsure what exactly you are seeing. As that slight movement becomes more noticeable, the initial wrong perception of a lifeless or unchanging the line starts to fade. Then as you move even closer, you begin to recognize that it's a line of ants marching. Now you are certain that it's not an inanimate object or some other kind of creature, but ants. You continue moving closer, and now you can see the ants as individual beings, each one distinct. At this point, even the wrong view of continuity, the illusion of a single, the continuous thing subsides. I repeat the example at first when you observe or when you look a line of ants from far distance, you have the wrong view of inanimate object, static line. But as you step closer, then you come to see some movement, and that movement, seeing that movement, that dispels the wrong view of inanimate object, because now you see it's moving, because inanimate object cannot move, non-living thing cannot move. As you step closer, you come to see the marching of ants. Now you are sure that This is not any other creature but ants. Still you don't see the individual ants. And you move closer, you come to see the individual creatures, ants. And when you see the individual ants, now again the wrong view of continuity. Before seeing individual ants, you still have the wrong view of continuity or the continuous thing or the illusion of a single thing. But when you see the individual ants, that wrong idea also subsides. In the same way, at the beginning, one may hold wrong views about physicality and mentality, seeing them as I, he, she, man, woman, person, being, soul, or perceiving them as permanent, pleasing, or as a self. Even in the early stage of meditation practice, meditators often perceive only conceptual objects such as the nose, abdomen, leg, hand, or body as a whole. They are recognized based on general shape, location, or conventional labels. At times, meditator may observe the form, pattern, or appearance of a bodily object rather than their true nature. For example, the abdomen may be seen as a balloon, a ball, or a hollow object. These perceptions are still rooted in concept and image, not direct insight into reality. As meditators continue progressing in their practice, they begin to directly observe realities, both physical and mental. They come to understand that the body is not a solid or unified thing, but the composition of physical phenomena that we call rupa. And among the rupas, there are mainly 4 great elements. And the 4 great elements are the earth element, first earth element, second water element, third fire element or element of temperature, and air element. These 4 elements, they do not appear as literal earth, water, then fire or air. Instead, they are known through their natural qualities, their individual characteristics. These 4 elements have their individual natures or the characteristics. For example, the earth element is experienced through hardness, softness, roughness, or smoothness. These qualities are unique to the earth element and are not found in other 3 elements. The water element does not have hardness, softness, The air element also lacks these qualities. Therefore, hardness and softness are individual characteristics specific to the earth element, and this is why they are called personal characteristics, in Pali Sabhava Lakhana. Then the water element has the characteristic of cohesion, fluidity or flowing. It is what allows material objects to hold together, giving a sense of continuity or smoothness. The fire element has the characteristic of heat, cold or warmth. It is responsible for temperature and maturation. The air element is experienced through tension, tightness, tautness, stiffness or movement. It is the element that drives motion and pressure within the body. In this way, all four elements have their own individual or personal characteristics. Similarly, mentality, nama, has its own unique nature. Nama mentality can be divided into two main categories: mind, chitta, and mental factors, chaitasikas. The mind has the general knowledge of knowing or taking the object. It is its individual nature. The mental factors, which are 52 in numbers, each have their own distinct nature. For example, greed, lobha, has the characteristic of attachment or clinging. Whether it arises in the mind of a human or any other being, whether in the mind of an ant or an elephant, whether in the mind of an ordinary person or even in the mind of a non-returner or anagami, it does not change the nature. That is why it is considered as ultimate reality, Paramatha Dhamma. These ultimate realities have fixed characteristics, unchanging, and can be directly known through insight alone. This clinging nature is not found in other mental factors. It is only found in greed. Anger does not have the nature of clinging. Anger does not have that. It has the nature of aggression or ferocity. Similarly, delusion also does not have the nature of clinging. It has the nature of ignorance. So only greed, lobha, possess this attaching, gluing quality, which makes it the individual or the personal characteristic. Similarly, loving kindness, metta, has the nature of wishing for others' welfare or happiness, a quality that unique to metta and not shared by any other mental factor, hence called individual characteristic. In this way, just as in the case of physicality, each mental factor has its own individual personal natures. Meditators should make a sincere effort to explore the individual characteristics of both physicality and mentality. This is essential as it forms the foundation or starting point for realizing deeper characteristics such as impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. Without first knowing these basic individual characteristics, one cannot truly understand the deeper nature of physical and the mental phenomena. That is why during interviews, teachers often ask meditators again and again whether they have directly experienced these characteristics. But you don't need to do anything special or complicated to explore these natures. You simply need to observe physical and mental phenomena as they arise or when they become clear and obvious in your experience. By consistently and mindfully observing their presence, the understanding of their individual characteristic will begin to arise naturally and gradually. As meditators continue progressing in their practice, they begin to witness the second level of characteristic, that is the conditional characteristics. The second level of characteristic is marked by three distinct moments within each experience. First, arising or appearance. Second, short continuation. And third, passing away or disappearance. These three phases gradually become obvious within the observation of each individual characteristics. For example, while observing the rising and falling of the abdomen, a meditator may notice the appearance of hardness, a brief continuation of hardness, and then its disappearance. Similarly, they may experience the appearance of warmth, then a brief continuation of warmth, and then the dissolving or disappearance of the warmth. The same can be seen during walking meditation while observing the movement of the feet. One might notice the appearance of heaviness, a brief continuation of heaviness, and then its disappearance. The appearance of lightness, its brief continuation, and the disappearance. These three phases or the second level of the characteristic can be seen not only of physical objects but mental objects as well. Meditators may witness the appearance of thinking, short continuation, then disappearance of thinking, appearance of greed or anger, then brief continuation, then disappearance. So the three phases of all physical and the mental, the characteristics, individual characteristics. You meditators may see during sitting, during walking, during day-to-day activities. Even meditators may see these three, will witness in the unpleasant sensation as well, the appearance of pain, short continuation, then disappearance. As meditators continue progressing in their practice, they begin to directly explore the third stage of characteristics, that is, common characteristics. At this stage, the brief continuation previously noticed becomes inapparent. A meditator simply notices the appearance and the disappearance. For example, the appearance of hardness immediately followed by its disappearance. The rising of the warmth, then its vanishing. The appearance of tension and then its dissolution. Similarly, the arising of greed and its disappearance, the appearance of the anger followed by its vanishing. At early stage of this level, meditators may notice the arising and disappearance of phenomena at a slower pace. And in a fewer occurrence, in fewer numbers. However, as the practice matures, the process becomes progressively faster and the numbers of absorbed objects increases significantly. The mind becomes sharper, more precise, to the impermanent nature of objects, clearly seeing how physical and the mental phenomena arise and vanish rapidly, one after another without pause. As meditators experience the rapid appearance and the disappearance of physical and the mental phenomena, the impermanent nature of all conditioned things become clearly obvious. This impermanence is seen not as a concept but as a direct experience, a continuous process of birth and death, moment by moment. As this insight deepens, the meditators begin to recognize that such a unstable process cannot bring true satisfaction. This leads to the realization of the truth of suffering, dukkha, and that our conditioned phenomena are ultimately unsatisfactory. Simultaneously, as there is no lasting control or ownership over these consistently changing phenomena, the truth of selflessness becomes evident. There is no I behind the process, just a stream of cause and conditions arising and passing away. These three characteristics, impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness, are known as the common characteristic, the third characteristic, because they are shared by all physical and mental phenomena. They are also called the universal characteristics, as they apply to all conditioned realities existing in this universe without exception. In this way, meditators gradually come to witness these three levels of characteristics: individual characteristics, conditional characteristics, and common characteristics. Yet to talk more about the knowledge, we will continue tomorrow. So for today, by development of the continuous concentration, you can develop the wisdom. The momentum of the concentration permits the wisdom to arise, and as you progress in the meditation, you come to witness the three levels of characteristics. That's why may you be able to develop mindfulness, concentration and wisdom, and may you be able to see or explore the three types of characteristics: individual, conditional and common characteristics. And then by developing the knowledge into these three characteristics, may you progress and may you be able to develop the path and fruition knowledge as well.